The leaves are beginning to change color. The nights and morning air are beginning to get cooler. Many plants have lived their full cycle and are beginning to fall, returning to the earth to give back to the soil that helps give it life. It's a poetic and beautiful exchange of life. What we see as decay and death, another life sees as food and energy. A cycle that sustains all life on this planet. When I first set out to begin my garden in early spring, I was exploding with energy, much like the budding new life happening all around me. I had ideas and new things I wanted to grow, and am always eager to get my hands back into the earth. The thought of this big, barren plot of land turning into a food forest full of green and vibrant colors excites me. I collected my seeds and prepared for another grow season, dreaming about where everything was going to go. This year was my second year with the garden. I knew there were some changes I was going to have to make that I learned from the previous year. I'm still getting to know the land and what grows well in my zone. We have heavy clay soil here, which makes it tough to grow certain varieties. And my garden runs on a slight slope, so one side of my garden retains a lot more water than the other side. Couple that with the heavy clay soil, and it makes for very mucky growing conditions. In fact, a couple of the beds that I created along that fence line barely grew anything I had planted, such as cucumbers, watercress, sorrel, watermelon, and celery. Instead, it was overrun with weeds, such as jewelweed and clover, so much so that it became increasingly difficult to stay on top of it all. I eventually gave up and let the neighboring forest take back what was rightfully theirs. And I used the jewelweed to make an herbal remedy to treat poison ivy, so all was not lost. This year, I decided to grow some new plants, such as Brussels sprouts, asparagus, amaranth, corn, hot peppers, beans, and ginger. I didn't have any success with the Brussels sprouts, hot peppers, or beans, and the corn blew over during an overnight windstorm. I planted the Brussels sprouts and beans in new areas of my garden that were within the mulch, not the beds. I raked back the mulch, dug my holes for transplants, or buried my seeds, and layered compost and kelp to enrich the soil, but they still didn't grow. The plants were completely stunted. I had a similar issue with my peppers and cucumbers, both of which I tried to start early this year indoors using peat pots. Some people say never transplant cucumbers, only direct sow them, and others have had success transplanting them in the peat pots directly into the ground. Last year, I direct sowed them and had more cucumbers than I could keep up with. This year, I decided to try transplanting them. The cucumbers were also stunted and barely grew. I think next year I will move them to the other side of my garden and direct sow them again. I noticed that in my garden, whenever I direct sow seeds into the earth, I have much more success than when I transplant them. The plants always grow bigger, stronger, and more resilient. I also noticed that when I plant a diverse garden, I rarely have pest issues, and I find that I don't have to use any organic sprays or solutions to deter insects. Mixing together a variety of different plants into a garden bed seems to confuse the insects, so it's a great way to keep the pests away naturally. The plant I was most excited to grow this year was ginger. I started these from rhizomes inside my home during winter. I kept them warm and then eventually transferred them into the greenhouse and transplanted them into larger pots. Ginger is a tropical plant that likes warm weather and lots of water. I have nurtured these plants for many months and finally got to harvest them.
Everyone is sometimes lonely. Nothing to be ashamed of this. Everyone felt it unnecessary, especially you, my friend. Everyone wants to be free, but to be part of someone, and you want to be happy, but suffer from duties, and you want to be nice like the fruit on the tree, and you want to be happy, and you want to be nice like the fruit on the tree, and you want to be happy. Everyone is sometimes lonely. Nothing to be ashamed of this.
In order to improve my clay soil, I'm adding organic matter, such as plant material, kelp, and compost. My compost bins were both full and in desperate need of some attention. In order to get to the good stuff at the bottom of the bins, I had to remove the stuff at the top.
Wir sind des Geiers schwarze Haufen, ai, aho, und wollen mit Tyrannen raufen, ai, aho. Spieß voran, drauf und dran, setzt das Kloster da den roten Hahn. Spieß voran, drauf und dran, setzt das Klosterdach den roten Hahn. The troops of Geyer dressed in black are we, hi-ho, we'll fight to end all tyranny, hi-ho. Stim and ho, on we go, on the castle roof let the red cock crow. Oh, the Gaius men their bows and arrows shoot, onward they go, their flag displays a peasant's boot to stand out the foe. Stim and ho, on we go, on the castle roof let the red cock crow. We're beaten, though we know our cause is right. Our sons will carry on the fight. Spin and ho, onward go, on the castle roof let the red cock crow. Spieß
I used the good compost in the garden and put the rest back into the bins to continue to cook and break down. I'll be able to use what's in them next year for the garden. In the garden, you never know what to expect year after year. You try new things, move plants around, and can still run into unexpected issues, like too much rain, too little rain, windstorms, or late frost. The garden is a great teacher for other areas of my life, too. I can make plans or set goals, but there are always unexpected things that happen in life that are out of my control. It teaches you to be adaptable, to let go and just go with the flow. It has taught me that everything is finite, everything is in motion, and can change at any time. So I'm learning to be more present, to live for today, remembering that just as the seasons change, so do the cycles and phases in our lives. And that no matter what is happening in the world, I am here today. I am alive, breathing in the cool morning air, watching the trees change color, listening to the birds sing another song, and feeling the earth beneath my feet.